हाय, आई एम अनन्या शर्मा और आज आप मुझे DKT पर देख रहे हैं। मैंने रिसेंटली IELTS एग्ज़ाम दिया जिसमें मुझे 8.5 आउट ऑफ 9 स्कोर मिला। मैं आज आपके साथ टेस्ट फॉर्मेट एंड प्रिपरेशन स्ट्रैटेजी शेयर करूंगी। IELTS स्टैंड्स फॉर इंटरनेशनल इंग्लिश लैंग्वेज टेस्टिंग सिस्टम। IELTS में दो टाइप के टेस्ट होते हैं, एकेडमिक एंड जनरल ट्रेनिंग। एकेडमिक इज़ रिक्वायर्ड फॉर दोज पीपल जो फ्यूचर में फर्दर एजुकेशन के लिए फॉरेन कंट्रीज़ में जाना चाहते हैं। एंड जनरल ट्रेनिंग टेस्ट इज़ फॉर दोज जो फ्यूचर में किसी फॉरेन कंट्री में माइग्रेट करना चाहते हैं, परमानेंट रेजिडेंसी के लिए अप्लाई कर रहे हैं या फिर कहीं और जाके काम करना चाहते हैं। IELTS is accepted in over 9,000 organizations including universities, companies, by employers, immigration facilities, etc. It is one of the most comprehensive English language tests. A misconception about IELTS is that आप उसे पास या फिर फेल कर सकते हैं, जो कि ट्रू नहीं है। IELTS में आपको 1 to 9 बैंड स्कोर मिलता है and it is upon the organization to decide if it's suitable or not. IELTS is very comprehensive and it tests you on your reading abilities, your writing abilities, your listening abilities and your speaking abilities in English. There are 4 sections that every candidate has to attempt: speaking, listening, reading and writing. Speaking and listening remain the same for academic and general, लेकिन reading and writing sections में general candidates and academic candidates में थोड़ा difference होता है। मैंने एकेडमिक IELTS अटेम्प्ट किया था और आज मैं आपको एकेडमिक एज वेल एज जनरल ट्रेनिंग के बारे में बताऊंगी। यूजुअली रीडिंग, राइटिंग एंड लिसनिंग टेस्ट एक सिटिंग में कंप्लीट होते हैं एंड स्पीकिंग टेस्ट हैपन ईदर 7 days बिफोर और 7 days आफ्टर द एग्ज़ाम। द रिजल्ट्स फॉर द एग्ज़ाम आर अवेलेबल आफ्टर 15 days of attempting the exam. You can attempt the exam either through paper pen based format or through computers. IELTS exams happen every 2 weeks and your score remains valid for 2 years from the date of the exam. IELTS का फॉर्म आपको ब्रिटिश काउंसिल या फिर IDP के वेबसाइट पे मिलेगा। एवरी फॉर्म कॉस्ट 18,500 rupees at present. To attempt the test, you must have your passport as well as all the necessary documents as specified in the form. Now let's talk about the different sections on the exam. The first section is listening. Listening test 40 minutes का होता है and इसमें different types of questions होते हैं like MCQs, fill in the blanks, match the following, one word answer, 2 word answer, etc. The listening test consists of 4 different recordings which include day-to-day conversations, monologues, कोई speech, a telephone conversation, etc. And they're only spoken once, so you have to make sure कि आप अच्छे से सुन रहे हैं and while the question is going on आप उसके answers भी log in कर रहे हैं। Before the recording starts and after the recording ends, आपके पास थोड़ा time होता है to read the question and to check your answers respectively. So I would suggest that make use of those few seconds because they make all the difference. To attempt the listening section well, आपको synonyms, डायरेक्शंस, डेट्स, टाइमिंग्स एंड हाउ दे आर स्पोकन ऑफ इन इंग्लिश की बहुत अच्छी नॉलेज होनी चाहिए। फॉर एग्ज़ाम्पल 3:30 को इंग्लिश में 3:30 बोलते हैं। यू मस्ट नो दैट दिस इज़ हाउ इट्स रिटन इन वर्ड्स एंड इन नंबर्स बिकॉज यू मे बी आस्क्ड टू डू एनी ऑफ द फॉलोइंग। A lot of the times the speaker tries to trick you by saying something and then correcting themselves. So make sure जब आप अपना आंसर लिख रहे हैं उससे पहले आप पूरा सेंटेंस कंप्लीट होने दें and then उसके बाद लिखें, because once you write a wrong question you often move on to the next one and then you forget to correct it. Lastly, since recording एक ही बार बोली जाती है, I would suggest that you pay full attention only the recording that you're listening to and to your paper. The next section is the reading section. Reading section academic and general training candidates के लिए different होता है. The academic reading section contains texts from magazines, books, newspapers and they're traditionally more educational in nature. उनके साथ diagrams, tables, whereas general training texts are usually from training manuals, job descriptions, newspapers, but on topics of day-to-day relevance. Since the reading section involves 4 different passages, all of which are very long, I would suggest you to not read all the passages in detail. The smarter strategy is to skim through all the paragraphs, something that I did was to skim through the passage, and right next to the paragraph I would write what the main idea of the para is, so that जब मैं question पढ़ रही हूँ I would know कि where the answer is and what I need to look into. The type of questions on this section include MCQs, short answer questions, agree or disagree, match the following, match the headings, etc. For example, there might be a question which asks you whether or not the author of the passage agrees with a certain statement, disagrees with a certain statement, or if the statement is not addressed in the passage. So it helps to mark or underline whatever the main ideas of each para are, so that you can accordingly write the answer in the questions thereafter. The next section is the writing section. The writing section is also different for academic candidates and general candidates. The section contains two tasks, writing task 1 and writing task 2. The first task is for 150 words and the second task is 250 words. The second task obviously has more weightage than the first one. Out of the 60 minutes that you get for your writing exam, I would suggest spending 20 minutes on the first task and 40 minutes on the other task. The first task is different for academic and general training candidates. Academic candidates are asked to describe a figure, an illustration, a diagram, a map, or a bar chart. All the figures given in the writing task are properly labeled and properly titled, and you must mention all the details given in the illustration in your passage. It also helps to give comparison between the different things being spoken of. In most cases at least 2 या फिर 3 चीज़ें होती है जिनके बीच में आप कंपैरिजन कर सके. फॉर एग्जांपल, मेरे टेस्ट पे 2 बार ग्राफ्स आए थे जिसमें दिखाया था कि एक साल में 20 to 25 की एज में के जो लोग हैं उन लोगों ने कितना एक मंथ में स्पेंड किया. Something that will help improve your band score on the writing test is to use subordinate clauses like thereafter, meanwhile, whenever, in order to, provided that, etc. Examiners ढूंढते हैं कि आप कितने complex and compound sentences use कर सकते हैं. Simple sentences like I like this color, I like to play cricket don't yield you a good band score. You have to use complex sentences which use connector words like subordinate clauses. Writing task 2 was most difficult to me, and this is what I had to prepare for more than any other section. It is the same for academic and general training candidates. इसमें आपको एक prompt दिया जाता है which can be in the form of agree or disagree, give both views, provide a solution for the problem, give opinions, etc. To get a good band score on this section, you have to make sure that you stay on topic. It's often very easy to stay off topic and talk about other things. Since this task is around 250 words long, it can have 3 to 4 paragraphs, but each paragraph should start with an introductory sentence and then 2 or 3 sentences after that जो उस point को substantiate करे, and last में you can give an example. What a lot of people don't know about the IELTS is that the examiners are not going to verify your facts, so you can make up examples and instances to support your point. What they look for is your ability to form fluent sentences, and they don't care if you make up an example or if your example is true or not. For example, I was supposed to write about how mobile use affects teenagers, and I just made up a study from Harvard, and I said that in 2016 they conducted a study which showed that continuous mobile phone usage reduces concentration by 60%. They're not going to legitimize your facts or make sure that they're correct or not. So you can make up anything as long as it pertains to the topic that you're asked to write about. The last section is the speaking section, which is anywhere between 10 to 15 minutes. It sometimes happens on the very day of your exam, or otherwise 7 days before or 7 days after the date of the reading, writing and listening sections. So it contains 3 sections. The first one being introduction, where you enter and the interviewer will ask you general details about yourself, like your name, आप कहाँ रहते हैं, आपके family में कितने लोग हैं, what is your current profession, etc. इन द सेकेंड सेक्शन आपको एक कार्ड दिया जाएगा जिसमें एक प्रॉम्प्ट होगा, एंड यू विल बी गिवन अ शीट ऑफ पेपर एंड अ पेंसिल to plan out what you want to speak about for 1 minute. After that, you will have to speak for 1 to 3 minutes uninterrupted. In the third section, the interviewer will ask you about what you spoke of in the second section, and then ask you some other larger existential questions like what do you look for in a friend, what is happiness to you, etc. My tip for this section would be to not get nervous. It's very easy to stutter and miss out on words and forget what you want to speak about if you are nervous. The examiner that I especially got was very nice and was making me very comfortable. So I would suggest that leave all your nervousness behind and try to relax as much as you can. In a testing situation like this one, you often feel the need to answer very quickly, but this makes you miss out on a few words, stutter and forget what you want to speak about. So I would suggest कि आपको अगर किसी question का immediately answer नहीं आता, तो you can just ask the examiner something like, oh, can I take a few minutes to think about this, or something like, oh, nobody's asked me this question before, let me take a few moments to gather my thoughts. And they will not penalize you for this, they won't cut any marks. So I would suggest, so it's better to take a few seconds, think of what you want to speak about, and then उसके बाद अपना answer form करें. To improve your band score on the speaking test, it's important to use a variety of tenses like past, present, future, etc. It's also important to use a variety of synonyms for different phrases, idioms, to use subjective clauses like in the writing test. ऑल्सो अ लॉट ऑफ द टाइम्स हमें लगता है कि हम आंसर अगर रट लेंगे तो हम लोग बेटर परफॉर्म कर पाएंगे, बट इन सब एग्जामिनर्स को बहुत अच्छे से ट्रेन किया जाता है एंड दे कैन स्पॉट इफ़ यू हैव मेमोराइज्ड एन आंसर, और अगर आपने किसी चीज़ का रट्टा लगाया है. सो इट्स बेटर to go with the flow, speak whatever comes to your mind and not memorize anything, because that's only going to drop your band score even further. Personally, for myself, as I am currently pursuing my final year of my undergrad degree, it was quite hard to manage both IELTS as well as my college studies. So what I did was reserve a few hours every day to study for my IELTS as well as for my college studies. By doing some amount of preparation every single day, even if it was through the IELTS official app or through reading articles in the newspaper or books or journals, it really helped out in the end. So I would suggest not to leave IELTS preparation for 1 week before the exam, but make it a habit to read more in English, speak in English, watch English movies and watch English videos over time and over a course of several months. As for myself, I took help from a lot of different YouTube channels. You can search IELTS preparation and you'll find a variety of different channels, all of which are very helpful. I don't personally see a point of joining an IELTS preparation course because there are enough resources online and on YouTube that you can make use of. उसके साथ ही once you sign up for an IELTS exam, वो लोग आपको IELTS की official preparation book भेजते हैं जिसमें listening, reading, writing and speaking के prompts होते हैं, which was very helpful to me, especially for the writing section, which was what I was most nervous about. You can't just prepare for IELTS through books and videos. You have to make it a habit to speak more English, read more in English, and this won't happen magically. Since I didn't go for any professional coachings, I don't really see a point of it, and I think that you can get a good score on your IELTS without any coachings through constant effort over a period of at least 2 to 4 months. If you are planning to study or live abroad, it's most beneficial if you start reading, watching, speaking in English well in advance. It's not just going to help you get a good score on your IELTS, but also survive easily in the country that you're choosing to go to. So these were all the strategies I used to secure an 8.5 on my IELTS exam. Wishing you all the best for your exam and keep watching DKT.